Welcome back into Main Street Living. We all have heroes, right? But they might be our parents, they might be, the Batmans, the Supermans, the Caped Crusaders of the world. But especially for kids, it's important to have a hero that you can look up to and relate to.
That's right, Danielle. And our next guest, he wanted to make sure his kids could read about heroes who looked up, well, who looked like them, of course. And so he took matters into his own hands, and he ended up with Heroes of Color. So let's welcome back author and animator David Heredia to the show. How you doing there, David?
All right, what's going on, man? Good to see you again.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Likewise. So, David, the reason why you started the Heroes of Color is pretty cool, but why did you start the Heroes of Color?
Heroes of Color was born mainly because I wanted to make sure that my children were getting, the cultural education that was missing in school. And it was very important for me to ensure that my kids felt, confident and valued, and just that anything is possible, because they were seeing other folks who were doing these remarkable things who weren't necessarily celebrities or athletes. These were people, ordinary people by, our standards, who were just accomplishing incredible stuff. So,
yeah.
That's awesome. And you've gone beyond comic books and you're focusing on education. Why are you putting all of your energy into this right now?
It's funny when you see the impact your work makes on somebody, whether it's a child or an adult. That's your GPS. That's what tells you you're going in the right direction. And for the first time in my life, I started to see the impact that my work was having on kids and on parents. So I dropped everything else and just made that my priority. So that really was my focus.
Yeah. And people are focusing here recently on Hispanic Heritage Month. All right.
Mhm.
And you've started a new series called Heroes of Latin America. So tell us about that focus, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it's part of the same series, Heroes of Color, but what it's going to be a 15-minute video. All of the other videos are 3 minutes, but this one is 15 minutes, and I'm super excited about it because every year for Hispanic Heritage Month, as an Afro Latino, I never really saw a lot of heroes that looked like me
Mhm.
highlighted. Although I understand the origin of Hispanic Heritage Month was really focusing on just a few countries who got their independence. So it wasn't about all of them. It was just about those countries, but it's evolved, right? We're always evolving. So as it evolved, I wanted to make sure that, well, we have a level playing field here. So my heroes are, all 30 of them are Afro Latino, probably not household names that you might have heard of, but it just, it was something that was so incredibly exciting for me to do. And when I mentioned it to a couple of people, they were like, I've never heard of it being celebrated in that fashion. So it's really exciting.
Hold up, tell me. I'm amazed now. I'm a Marvel movie fan, and you have 30 heroes. That's more than the Marvel characters, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I have some of them pulled up on my screen, and as I was researching these names, I was like, I easily could have landed about 100. you know
Wow.
and it's like, how can you tell somebody's life story in a couple of seconds? You really can't. But
Mm.
my hope is that it's not just enough to pique the interest of a child to want to do this research, but also the parents and educators who might feel like, hey, you know what, I may want to bring this subject into my classroom now, because as much as I want to focus on getting the kids excited, I need to get the adults excited about this too.
True.
Specifically teachers and administrators who might feel like, hey, maybe we can do a different spin on Hispanic Heritage Month this year and add some of these folks. So it's always an evolution of, just making sure that I'm piquing the interest of different age groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with 30 heroes that you're featuring there, tell us about some of these people.
Well, so it's 15 men, 15 women, and I try to grab one from each country. And so, for example, in the Dominican Republic, there's a gentleman named Mauricio Baez who was a organizer. He was a union worker. He pretty much organized all of the unions in the sugarcane that worked in the sugarcane industry. and helped them because they were going through all of these just issues. And very smart for his time, in order to organize all of these people, he used the newspapers to advertise and get people to come in together. And they started the strike. It was like in the 1940s. And I mean, he was able to make so much progress just by doing that. It caused a lot of problem for the government who were trying to oppress these folks. But so he's one guy. I found an artist from Mexico, Julia Lopez, which was a gem, because I didn't even know that there were Afro-Mexicans. So she was unique in that for her era, during the muralist movement, she was painting characters that depicted, people of African descent, which is not common. A lot of these countries, one of the very similar things that they all share is they try to repress any type of people who have openly expressed their, love for their African ancestry and their heritage. They try to push them out of, the limelight. And it's like, you think about Brazil. Brazil had the majority of the enslaved people come into that country, more than the United States, more than the Caribbean. They had the majority. Yet every time you would see heroes, you'd see anything representing Brazil, they were almost always light skinned. So it was like, that's interesting to me, So it's just bringing these people out, telling these stories, getting them out, getting people excited, and hopefully it will be my best work, because as I wrote the script, I already felt it. Like my body tingled when I was writing that script. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. And we certainly do appreciate you coming on the show. Obviously, that's why all these heroes represent all types of kids. And really quickly, can you tell us where we can find more of your information and more of your work?
Absolutely. You can find my work at heroesofcolor.com.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram at _heroesofcolor.
Awesome.
And thank you again for continuing to bring me back and helping to keep my story alive, because that's the fuel that keeps me going. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, we need more people like you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Quincy, switching gears a little bit when we come back, would you like an adult beverage? What do I have in here? We're going to share a unique brew coming up.